Yeah, in a classroom.
A pencil.
Yeah, what's the most important thing to you in a classroom? Respect, honor. Look,
It can be like a physical object in the
She's gonna
classroom
say
or just like
something
in a classroom.
Oh,
setting.
yeah, I did.
My computer.
In class.
Lol.
I mean, that still makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I answered the questions like I was texting.
Okay,
So I
guys.
have
Are you locked in?
yes, I'm locked in.
Look, Miss Nose, I was gonna have a paper. I'm good to go.
Wait,
No, keep
I
your hand
remember
up.
I was gonna ask her. Oh, I got it, okay.
All right. Ready? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the third episode of the Ranger Podcast. My name is Aiden,
My name's Emiliano.
And I'm Sydney.
and today we have a very special guest. Everyone, please welcome.
No shot.
I'm
no
sorry. I'm
shot.
sorry. It is my fault. I've never had you. I'm sorry.
I know,
I'm
it's-
sorry. I'm so sorry. That is my fault. That is my fault. I'm so sorry. That is the most unprofessional
This is
thing
not
ever.
real.
Chad, is this real?
Unprofessional thing ever.
He's hiding.
Mr. Nelson, that was not funny. I felt so guilty.
I knew you were gonna do that. As soon as you're like, Miss, I'm like, he doesn't know her name.
I feel so bad.
Miss Thomasson.
Miss Thomasson.
Thomas? Son.
Thomasson.
So you're gonna start from there? Uh-huh.
Thomasson.
Miss Thomasson.
I
But
got
this is
this.
from the top.
It will never happen again. Okay.
It's fine. I'm just gonna be mean now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll accept that. Hello, guys. Welcome back to the third episode of the Ranger Podcast. My name is Aiden,
My name's Emiliano.
And I'm Sydney.
and today we have a very special guest. Everyone, please welcome Miss Thomasson.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, going into our third episode, obviously we wanted to get a teacher that was very well known. And when I was talking to my fellow coworkers, they all recommended you.
Oh.
And I was very curious to see what you were like as a teacher.
I'm really mean. A lot of people really don't enjoy my class. They
Really mean.
struggle a lot. I'm a hard grader. I'm pretty harsh, strict.
She's lying. Everyone loves Miss Thomasson.
Everyone loves Miss Thomasson. Obviously, every teacher has a story. Everyone goes into their career differently. Mm-hmm. How did you want to become a teacher?
I never wanted to be a teacher. I was an English major in college, and my whole family said, you should get certified to teach. And I was like, no, just because I'm an English major doesn't mean that I have to teach. And so I graduated from college, and I worked at a publishing company for 3 months, editing people's addresses. And I cried in my cubicle every day. And I was like, okay, I mean, I guess I'll try teaching. So I started teaching, and it turned out like, yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. My grandparents were teachers. My mom's a teacher. My brother and sister are teachers. So it was kind of inevitable.
Naturally.
That's cool. What's the most important thing for you in a classroom?
So I've had some confusion about this question, but I would say in a classroom, if we're talking about physical setting, sunlight. I need sunlight. Miss Pyatt and I taught in a basement for several years, and we were really miserable there. It's like something about the sunlight makes a huge difference to us. But as far as like a class, I would say that for me, what's really important is that we all know why we're here. Like, what are we trying to accomplish? What's the point of all of this?
It's funny to hear you say that because I've heard teachers say like they're so grateful for like a window in their classroom, and so hearing you say that, it just reminds me of those conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold up. You said you taught in a basement?
Yeah, so at Plano Senior, that's the school I graduated from. The whole like first floor of one of the buildings is underground. So I had like a cement wall on one side, and Miss Pyatt and I shared like an accordion wall that was broken. So we'd be like yelling at each other all the time while we were teaching. And before she left, when she went to go teach at another school, I cut out a piece of that like decrepit accordion wall and framed it and gave it to her. It's in our classroom right now because I thought it was really funny.
So how was that like, you got to work with Miss Pyatt and then obviously y'all got separated, but now y'all are like back working together?
Yes. So we were at Plano Senior together, and we were really unhappy there for a lot of reasons. One of them really was that we didn't have any sunlight. But she got a job elsewhere, and it took me a little bit longer to find somewhere else that I wanted to teach. And then when I got to Lone Star, I called her and I was like, listen, this place is the best place to be as a teacher. So you need to get over here. And we've been here ever since.
And now your classroom even moved like.
I know. We've been joking about trying to like cut a hole through that wall too.
Yeah.
You said Lone Star is the best school to teach at. What makes you say that? When you came to Lone Star, what made it the best for you?
So, valuing student and teacher input is really important to me. The fact that I feel like our leadership listens and cares, that this is a place that people want to be. Like, I know everybody gets upset about the fact that other schools have newer facilities or other things that we don't necessarily have here, but the fact that people care, that we are happy to be here, that's pretty monumental in education.
I would agree.
And then what excites you most about teaching?
I always say that I love that every day is different. I never know how things are going to go with kids because kids walk in the room and maybe they're having a bad day, maybe they're having a great day, maybe, I don't know, a myriad of things happen. And it's so much fun to see how things go and see what people understand and what they can bring to the conversation.
And speaking of never knowing what happens, last year, like towards the end of the year, didn't you like break up a fight or something?
That wasn't last year, that was the year before. That was so long ago.
Really?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I did break up a
what
fight.
What happened with it? You just like saw it happening, you were like, I need to get in the middle of this, like I need to.
Well, I don't want kids to get hurt.
Did you swing at anyone?
No! No, but it's always my like instinct to jump in because nobody's really gonna hit me. Like, don't spread that around and tell people to like, come at me. But I feel like generally I'm pretty safe in that if people see me, they're not automatically like wanting to punch me. And I'm 5 feet tall and I can kind of like stop people and separate without worrying about hurting anybody. Yeah.
I feel like you'd win in a fight.
I mean, honestly, I would. I was telling somebody this the other day. My dad was a boxer in college and he taught me how. But again, that is not a challenge. That is not what I'm saying.
I can just imagine you like running into the fight, just remembering all your boxing classes that your dad gave you.
If it comes down to it. If it comes down to it.
No, there was a teacher at Plano one time that got a Slurpee thrown all over him when he was trying to break up a fight. Yeah, he was really mad. I thought it was really funny, but
I wouldn't even know how to respond to a situation like that because I've had to help with like kids in like the 4th and the 5th grade, and even that was like challenging for me, just with like patience and stuff. Not necessarily just being patient, but like having a Slurpee thrown on me, like cold, and that
happens.
Wow.
I mean, also, P.S. being a mom, you have a much higher tolerance for gross stuff.
Do you think it's easier being a teacher while you're also a mom?
No. I think it gave me a different perspective and a lot of what I do, but I care so much about authenticity. So I think applying that part of my life to what I do here makes me better at my job. So I think being a mom makes me a better teacher, and being a teacher makes me a better mom. But I don't know that one has to exist, with the other.
Yeah, obviously, I think we tend to forget that teachers are persons outside of school. So, like, what do you be doing outside of school other than being a mom?
Well,
and taking boxing classes?
Yeah, I'm not taking boxing classes, not currently. But I was gonna say that I like to hang out with my kid outside of school. But lately we've been watching The Good Place together.
I love that show.
And one of the most fun things for me is to see, he's 9 now, so is to see how he starts understanding the world and having conversations about stuff that we watch together. Generally, his shows have kind of before now been really boring and miserable for me to watch, but it's fun to get to that place where we can watch things that we both find entertaining and can talk about.
And speaking of your son, fun fact, my mom was actually Wesley's kindergarten teacher, and her mother was my teacher in kindergarten. She was my music teacher in kindergarten. And then I had Miss Thomasson as a teacher sophomore year.
Crazy.
So it all connected.
Can you say that one more time? I got lost.
Okay. So her son.
My mom was an elementary music teacher in Plano. She happened to go to that school when she was in kindergarten. And then it ended up down the line that my son ended up in her mom's kindergarten class. And then COVID happened that year. That was the year. And then the next year, I ended up with Sydney in my class.
How do y'all remember the teachers y'all had in kindergarten?
You know?
I don't. No.
Yeah, how did you know that I was like in your mom's class?
Well, I knew your last name.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Because of my mom.
And then I said something to my mom about it, and she said, "Oh yeah, Trahan. I taught both of those girls." And my mom remembers everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't.
She
know
goes
how
up to
remember
people
me.
at restaurants. They'll be like working or whatever, and she's like, "Hey, Joseph, how are you? Did you go to Hightower and blah blah blah?" And they're like, "Oh yeah." And they look at her, and she's like, "Yeah, I had you in music," and they're like freaked
Yeah.
because she remembers everything.
It was crazy because like I went to Wesley's birthday party and then like she was there and like I like vaguely remembered her, but I remember like her essence, and it was like really
know.
crazy because I was like, wait, like there's like a connection there?
Yeah.
Like I don't know you, but
I know.
I do.
How do you react to seeing students outside of school? Because I know I've had some teachers who are like, if I see you outside of school, I'm just gonna pull out my phone and act like I don't know you. And then there's teachers who like love seeing you outside
I
of
do.
school.
I love it. I have pictures up on the wall out there of like I ran into Sinai and Shelby one night. I was out with my friends for like birthday dinner with some of my friends, and we ran into each other at Tupelo Honey. Like I love it. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, I remember I was so happy when I got on that wall. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. Especially because I never had you as a teacher. I remember I came in one time and like I've never met you, and you just go, "Hey, Miliana," and I was like,
Oh,
Hello?
I heard about you.
yeah, apparently.
Miss Thomasson knows everyone.
No, I like people.
People person.
Is it easier to be a teacher being a people person?
Yeah.
I would think so.
That's my first year. I didn't know anything, but I knew that I liked people. So I can sit down and have a conversation. Even though I may not really, like at the time, I didn't really know like what the purpose was. Getting to know kids was like the best and most fun thing.
So, who's your favorite student?
Oh, I couldn't say that.
So like, okay, if you have to,
Honestly, like I have students that it's easier for me to get along with because like we think similarly or like we care about some of the same things. Like anyone who likes Kelly Clarkson, it's deeply important to me. But I really do love all of my students. It's really fun for me to get to know people and how people think.
So if you had to rank me, Sydney, and Aiden, 1, 2, 3.
That's not fair. I've never had her. That's not fair.
I couldn't possibly. But we do have that connection, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'd be top 3.
But also, I'm very young and cool.
You don't know how to dab someone up?
No, I don't know. What are you saying?
so you're like-
Isn't dabbing bad?
No, don't teach her the snap. Don't snap. That's so corny.
No, you have to snap.
Nobody
snap
ever
is
said.
required.
The snap is so
necessary.
corny.
The snap is required.
The snap
The
is so
best time to do it
corny.
is when you're walking away and you just hear it.
No.
Yes, and it's at the same time it's clean.
It's a cornball.
That's how people
No.
do it.
It's clean.
It's clean.
No, because then the other boys like.
Also,
different
that
times.
outfit is dripping.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just here to bring the youth and the cool culture. Did I say I was a mom?
Speaking of the youth, I feel like you have a special connection with class of 2024 because I feel like every time, I mean, I go to your advisory like every day and everyone in there is like in our class. So with that being said, like, who's your favorite class?
I'm so not. I again have people that I get along with really well.
Are
I
they
wouldn't
just mainly
say.
in class of 24 though?
You guys are a great class. Y'all are really special.
Blink if class of 2024 is your favorite class.
I'm so not doing that. I love all of my students. I have to
I did
blink.
Blink. Oh.
It's not fair.
It's confirmed. Class of 24.
No.
Being a teacher, is there more stepping stones?
So I've had all of my administration certification, like principal and all of that stuff for a long time. And when I got here, I didn't want to leave the classroom because I love it here so much. But I am currently looking at being a principal in the future, in the near future.
Principal Thomasson.
You'd be such a good
Yeah,
principal.
I could hear it.
You would.
I could hear it.
So that I can tell kids how dripping their outfits are.
You can definitely.
That's not what I was thinking. That's not what I had in mind, but
So, obviously, going back to the career, is there a goal that you had as a teacher when you started?
No.
No.
It was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I hope I don't get fired. And hey, everybody should read. I think Miss Pyatt is one of the people who really taught me how to teach well.
talk about it day one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been, but I didn't meet her until like my 6th year of teaching. So all the kids before that, like, sucks for them.
I wish you said that.
I'm just kidding.
You couldn't tell them how.
It was okay. Like, they had fun and I did the best I could, but she is really good at teaching people how to do stuff effectively, as you guys know.
Yeah.
Of course. That sounds like her.
And then if you could like leave your students with like one overarching thing, like what would it be?
I would say that, hang on, I thought about this. My main thing is that I want people to make choices that are intentional. Like, ask why you're doing the things that you're doing. I hope that if you're going to college, that you really ask yourself what you really want to do, and don't just go because it's expected of you. And also, please read a book. Please. That's really all I ask. Please read a book.
Do you think a lot of students go to college because it is expected of them?
Yeah, that's why I went to college.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to be a marine biologist for the longest time, but then I talked to one representative at college night when I was I think senior, and he was like, "It's really competitive, you probably don't want to do it." And I went, "Oh, okay."
And that was that?
And that was it. And I became an English major, and I'm glad I did, but I don't know.
Are we running out of time?
I think that's all we have time for today.
I have one more question though, because I didn't realize it until just now that you're sitting right here. Could you explain your tattoo right here? That's really, I like it.
That's really gonna help me get hired as a principal. It's a book with flowers going out of it, and it says, "Instead of silence, she chose fire." It's a quote from a book that came out, let's see, I think a year ago, by Celeste Ng, and it's about a woman who would write poetry, but it was illegal for her to do so. Like, the government wouldn't let her. Again, this is fiction. And the government would come after anybody who had copies of her poems. So she would whisper them to her friends and then burn the poetry after she'd written it. And I just found that really like moving and rebellious, and
Again, read a book.
awesome. Please
Please read a book. Well, Ms. Thomasson, we want to thank you so much for coming on today, especially last second. I was walking up to you in the hallway yesterday.
Totally fine. Happy to do it.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. That'll be it.